Hi everyone, this is Noelia, and I'm gonna show you today, I got these paint samples from Lowe's. I think they're Sherwin-Williams brand, and I thought I could really do something, I don't know, they just spoke to me. They look like little houses, so I was like, how can I use them on my gel plate? So I came up with a couple ideas and I wanted to share them with you today. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of center these so that they overlap on my gel plate. Trying to keep it somewhat straight. Doesn't matter the color because you'll see what I'm going to do with the first one. So basically I wanted to give that, these are the house rooftop kind of things, you know? All right, so the colors I'm going to be using is what I have at home. So I'm going to be using Artist Loft Ivory Black, Artist Loft Ultramarine, and then I had this Grumbacher, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, Academy Acrylic Iridescent White. I had a little bit of this left over from a project that I was working on last year, and I really like the sheen that this gives. And then I have a little bit of gloss gel medium that I'm going to add so that it doesn't dry too quickly and it helps with my pull. So on the first layer, I am going to, actually let me show you this. So this is the other side of an egg carton. I forgot the brand that it was, but what I did is I cut it. And it actually works really well to set my brayer in when I need it to rest. I could put it like that when I'm not using it, and I put it away and my brayer is clean. And when I'm using it, after I do it, I could just leave it there for a second if I don't want to get it all over my table. But I will show you that my table, I covered it with butcher paper, and it's got some stuff on it already. Those are like glue and stuff that I've been using on. And I have some deli paper here that I also clean my brayer on, and you'll see how I do that. And then I usually get really nice designs by the time I finish with the clean off papers. Don't know if there's a technical name for that. But also I have been using this craft paper to roll on, and I really like the design, how it looked on the craft paper. So I decided just to cover my table with butcher paper and sometimes roll on my butcher paper, and I'll use this paper for a couple of projects, and maybe I can do something actually with whatever designs come out of the butcher paper instead of throwing it away. So now I'm going to actually use this as a mixing plate, sort of, because and I always like to keep these little pieces of dried paint from the top because I can also use them for some of my acrylic paintings later on. They give it a cool texture. So I'm going to just add some blue paint here. I'm going to add a little bit of black to this. Just, let's see if there's any black left in here. Yep, there is. Just a little bit. A little bit of black goes a long way. And I'm gonna just kind of mix it here. I really like this egg carton thing. I've used it a lot. It just, all right. So now I'm going to roll my first layer. Now, I'm not gonna paint down here. I'm just gonna paint up here. So I like already how it's looking. I like the fact that you see some of the black and the blue. I'm gonna lightly paint these houses. This project in particular is not gonna necessarily be doing anything with these paint markers afterwards, although I have done some stuff with them, and I'll show you maybe later in the video. All right. So now I have this extra paint on my brayer, and I'm just gonna roll it on to my deli sheets. don't want to waste it. And I really like the color that is showing. All right, so I'm gonna wait a little bit and let this dry. So just gonna roll it a little bit more because I noticed that it was a little thick. And I also have a fan right by my work area. And I just turned it on. I had it off before, but I turned it on now so that I can dry this layer. The reason you want to, well, in my case that I want to dry this layer is because when I add the white, it will pick up some of the blue. It'll mix instead of lift if I don't wait for it to dry. Oh, but I forgot what I was gonna do next. I did want to add some texture to the top. So I have this came from, I think, I'm just pressing this on. This will lift a little bit of the paint. Glad I remembered. Today I wrote down my steps of what I wanted to show you. So now this is what's happening in my hand. I get very messy, but that's okay. All right, so now I am going to add the white. So I want to really make sure that my brayer, even though it has blue, that it's dry, because I don't want to, I'm just gonna roll it on my, I don't want to get white on it. I mean, I don't want to get blue on it, so I'm just gonna roll it out until I get no paint. That's what I like about this craft paper. I can make a mess and it doesn't matter. All right, so now I'm just gonna add the iridescent white right on to the plate. This time I'm gonna add the white to the top and under the houses. Oh no, I just have, hopefully I have enough to, okay, make that work. All right, so I'm gonna lightly press, not too hard, because I've noticed that when I do it too hard, it sometimes removes the layer underneath. Down here though, I will do it a little darker because there's no paint down here. But I don't want to press too hard on the blue paint that was there, because if I do that, it will lift up. And that's not the effect I want. All right, so now I think I want to add a little bit more, I'm gonna roll this out. I want a little bit more white down here. I'll just take it from there. And I'm just kind of like, all right. I'm just rolling this on my deli paper. Can't wait to see the designs we get with that. All right, so now I am going to peel off the paint samples. I'm gonna be very careful. I don't wanna rub them. I'm gonna put them over here because I can probably use, or I for sure will use that for something. Now, I have a little bit of stuff here from a previous project, and that's okay. I'm going to add some gel medium and roll it on so that I can do my pull. This will dry clear. Make sure my roller is good, okay? I'm gonna be very careful here because I do not want to lift the way the white is on the bottom. I kind of like that. This just moistens it. A little bit, because I really do want to get that first layer that we put down. The blue, I want to lift it all on one swoop, and the white, so I want to make sure this is really nice and sort of wet, but not completely wet. All right, so now I'm quickly going to get paper. This is just a regular white sheet of paper. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to hold it over my gel plate, and now I'm going to press firmly, and we'll see how this comes out. And it's fine if I get some paint on the back of the paper because nobody's going to look at that side. Going to lift, and we'll see what we get. Let's see. All right. So this was our first print. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the medium just to try to clean this up a little bit more. But I kind of like how that turned out. So I'm going to put this over somewhere else and let it dry. All right, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of gel medium to the plate and roll it on so that I can try to get all of this paint off and lifted to do my next design. White sheet of paper, pressing again. And I think I like my second pull more than my first. I get darker blues. All right. It's usually how it is. This is the final product for House Effect number 1. This is the paper that I like the most. There's a lot of negative space underneath the peaks of the houses, of the rooftops, that I can use to either scan this whole image and use this as a background and put words over it, or I can draw something in or paint something into all of that white area. I'm gonna sit and think about that for a while, and I hope you enjoyed House Effect number 1. Please tune in to my next video, House Effect number 2, on my YouTube channel. Thank you.